1 quarter of football left to play. 151 to 65 in favour of the Sydney Swans. Madden against Byrne. Byrne has rucked right throughout the day. Essendon have used a number of players as Healy thumps it forward, but Byrne caught one too high, and so he'll take the free kick.
Simon Madden ran straight at Michael Byrne, then didn't even look at the ball and just gave him one in the mush.
It's been a courageous effort by Byrne. He's been bleeding from the start of the game almost, and so Michael Byrne puts the ball out wide. Henwood is led down from half-back. Now, this is Essendon at its worst. Now, Wayne Henwood is centre half-back. Roger Merritt decided that he'd be the man on the mark, and Byrne's not too good back behind play. And with Merritt on the mark, Henwood took the bet and went down the ground. Kick dropping short. Couldn't be taken there by Mitchell. The hand pass comes out. Stevie Wright tried to give it across to Neagle. Taken there and hand pass to blind one there by Clark. Thripp lost it. Taken by Hawke from Scott. Scott loses it. The loose ball comes out. Tackled against, too high against the Swans. Should have been a free kick, but none forthcoming. A little bit of head hunting by the Bombers as Michael Byrne comes across the ground. He's not going to come off. 50 metres out from the Swans' goal. Bayes doing the ruck work. No clear tap from Madden. Spencer looking for the free kick. Swooping on it, Mitchell. Gives the ball out now to Healy. Healy drives the ball long. In front is Kappa. Punched away though by Winton. And as I said earlier, to give Winton his credit, Kappa kicked 4 goals early in the piece. But since Winton came back onto the ground, he's done an excellent job.
Well, he only actually has kicked 2 goals of those 4 on Winton. So full marks to Brian Winton for fighting back, particularly as they've been under a lot of pressure now. Here's Merv Neagle against his former club, hooking it back now. Neagle's been an excellent player today, as usual. He's kicked 3 goals, 3, Merv Neagle. And there he is, a real goer, Merv, and a real colourful player too. One of the great characters in league football. Towards half-back it comes. That's a big mark, and they haven't taken too many of them today, the Bombers. That was Trevor Spencer over the top of the pack. Spencer. They've tried many players in the ruck today, the Bombers, and it hasn't worked out. Now here's Izzard as he kicks it wide. Chris Danaher. Slow to move then, Chris, but he finally gets there. Brother of Terry Orr. Beautiful tackle, Cordy. It allows Browning to come through, dodge around, onto the left foot goes Browning and proceeds to put it out of bounds on the full. Or was that smothered? There's a bit of a fight going on, close to the line. And, well, I'm sure the umpires have. Look at the umpire, Shane McDonald, heading for his notebook there. And I don't think he's reported anyone, has he? Let's see.
I think it's going to be a free kick to Essendon.
Bolton, he's taken Bolton's number. Now, if it goes Essendon's way, that is a silly report by David Bolton at this stage of the game. Now, let's see what happens. Bolton, oh. Well, you can see why he got upset. And it's going...
Well, I think if there is a report, it's for Bolton actually pushed the player into the fence. And that's why I think it's a report. So it's Roger Merritt who got pushed into the fence. And, well...
Poor old Roger. I think it hurt the fence more than it hurt Roger.
You said that a bit cynically then.
Well, what I mean is I think Roger's able to dish it out this time, isn't he?
I don't think Roger will complain.
No, he's fantastic. He has a go.
Roger Merritt, much to the hoots of the crowd, goes short, and a well-placed pass goes straight into the hands of Trevor Spencer. Now, Spencer will be kicking from a 50-metre line. Hasn't had a big impact on today's game. You can see the stats for yourself. 152 to 65 the score as Trevor Spencer puts a high kick in the air. It's offline, and is it over the boundary line? No, it's through for 1 point. Well, 1 point to the Bombers. It's 10-6, their first score in this quarter. 4.5 minutes have gone, and the Swans with a point as well, so we still have the 86-point margin between the sides. Kick dropping short, an awkward bounce for Quirk. Browning gets a favourable bounce. Goes now down towards the half-forward line. The ball floating out in front. We find Mitchell losing possession. Johnston taps the ball over the boundary line. And David Johnson, the youngster, only about 18 years old, has really kept trying right throughout the day. but it's a throw-in midway between half forward and forward. Well, 41-19 the hitouts, 42-19 now, but it means nothing when the little men such as Wright and Mitchell and Healy and you name it, Scott in the centre, and those players have continued to take the ball away.
Well, have a look at the kicks. Well, you can see how much they've dominated this game, the Sydney Swans, and very, very impressive performances. Madden has battled hard in the ruck without the support of the little fellas, and well, I think the Bombers, until they do something around the packs, handballs, well, not a lot in that, but I'd say definitely, Barry, that the Sydney Swans handballs have been far more effective.
Oh, I've used them much better, Pete, in general play.
There's Healy. To Mitchell. Was it in the back? No, said the umpire. Hamilton's in there after it. To Johnston. Back to, oh, gee, this player's improved. Terry Thripp, a greatly improved player. He's already kicked two. Too far out to score a goal, I would think. Madden's gone back to the goal square on to help Whitten out against Kappa. Now, going to go for the high one. Oh, it's not a bad-looking drop punt. It made the distance all right. A beautiful kick. It went through by 10 metres, but unfortunately just offline. 23-15, plays 10-6, and this is an absolute hiding. Winton from the back pocket as he played on. Oh, it's an ordinary kick as it goes straight. Brett Scott cops it too high. It'll be a free kick to Scott. Off he goes. And the racehorse, David Bolton, runs to the 50-metre line. Tony Morwood will mark this. Oh, no, his teammate came in over the back. Is it Paul HAWKE? Let's see. Morwood would have marked it. HAWKE came in over the back, took it straight out of his hands, and this will be another one of the Swans. Paul HAWKE has been an outstanding player today. One goal he's kicked. They raffled that one right in front, bang, and it's another one, his second, and the Swans are killing it.
Well, he made no mistake there, but that was started off there further up the ground by Brett Scott, who committed himself to the ball, and that really has been the tone of the whole game for the Sydney Swans. Players committed at the ball, and certainly Brett Scott today has made the most of his opportunities as we see Paul HAWKE win the raffle there and kick an easy goal.
I agree with you, Barry. I think Brett Scott has had the opportunity, coming in with Williams and being out, has really made the most of it. Madden against Byrne. The bounce favours Byrne. Forces the ball forward, couldn't get it clear. Madden likewise kicked off the ground by Scott once again, but the diving mark this time taken by Terry Danaher.
Danaher has been up and down the only in the key positions, hasn't played in the centre of the ground, but he's been just about everywhere else, although he mightn't have played a full back. But there's Gavin KEANE. Gee, taken away beautifully by the Swans. That's a 50-metre punch away by Henwood, and it allows two Sydney Swans players to raffle it. Steve Wright, beautiful. Oh, gee, just running underneath it was HAWKE. Taken away by Hurd, but straight into the hands of Mitchell. Mitchell punches it away. The Essendon players took their eyes off that one. Neagle gets it back to Toohey, and Toohey from 50 metres. Kappa at the back. Punched away by Winton and forces it through for a behind of the Sydney Swans.
Sydney 24-16, 160, leading the Bombers 10-6, 66.
Excellent performance by the Swans today as Winton floats the ball forward. Tapped on as first to it is Thripp. Well tackled, but got the hand pass in nonetheless. Duckworth kicks it off the ground. Browning stood his ground well and got the free kick. And so good play, Mark Browning. An excellent piece of football there. On replay, you saw why he got the free kick. Now the long kick from Browning at the back. Morwood judged it to perfection. Was the only player there with the judgment on that occasion. Eye on the ball. Other players went underneath it, and Tony Morwood, a perfect piece of judgment.
Bobby, I think you'd have to call that ability, wouldn't you, to read that? It was sheer ability.
You can't call the kick that. He's
That's
offline.
lack of ability. No, but that was how I reckon he knew Browning kicked one of those long, low floaters, and he just ducked over the back.
That was the word, Pete. It was a floater.
Well, there's the kick from Winton, who stuck to his task well. Kappa looked very dangerous early. Healy, a very skillful player. So is Mitchell. Spencer should have gone for the ball instead of trying to unload his opposition. Beautiful hand pass, HAWKE. Healy will run in from 40 metres out. Oh, what a kick.
call there said that Spencer went for the man, and that really has been the story of the day. Essendon players concentrating more on the opposition than the ball and the job at hand, and Hawke knocking the ball out to Healy, had all the time in the world, and that was a great kick and well-deserved goal. He's had a great game, Healy.
Certainly has.
And here we see
that was Gerard Healy. You saw there the number 3. He's had Shane Hurd tagging him, but he's, well, just disposed of the tag. He's kicked 4 goals himself and been a superb player. Merritt's kick smothered. Scott gets a short kick in, well trapped by Byrne. A lovely hand pass to Mitchell. Likewise across to Bolton. Bolton goes goalward. I don't think it was touched. A lovely goal with David Bolton.
just a fantastic piece of but what a great piece of reflex hands by Michael Byrne there in the centre of the ground, who got the ball out initially. Great work.
Well, they're a very, very exciting football side now. Kevin Walsh has had, I reckon, one of his worst days ever. He's been on and off the ground and really just hasn't got into the game. Daryl Cunningham's back on. They've made enormous changes and none of them have worked today for the Bombers. In they go after it, the Swans, and a good thing, Tommy Hope, you must be pleased, Bob, the way they don't let up, do they? When they get a side down, they crush them.
Well, let's give full marks to Tommy Hafey in that regard too. And he's on the phone at the moment. He's got Thomas alongside him, Dennis Carroll, John Reid behind him. But let's give credit for the way the team's performing. I know there were a lot of people say that coaches don't matter much, but and you've got to have the players. I agree you have to have the players, but just the coach still has to have them performing.
And I think he's got them absolutely super fit this side, and they can really run on. As we see, Browning's had a good day as he hooks that back, and Capper uncontested. That is unbelievable, isn't it? Uncontested. Brian Whitten, I don't know whether he lost sight of it, he just stood back in the goal square and didn't run in. Well, he's kicked 4, Capper. At the end, he was contested when it was all over by Shane Hurd. He got one right in the ear, Warwick Capper. If that wasn't 15 metres, I don't know what was. What do you reckon? Was that 15 metres, Bob? He got punched right in the head. Well, there's Capper.
You wouldn't call it a punch, would you?
Well, you know what I mean. He contacted his head, so it should have been 15. There's Warwick. Goal number 5. Gone.
Mark Browning's had a great day, and he got that ball down very quickly to Capper. We see Sheedy on camera there, and he obviously can't be very impressed with his side today. Again on replay, Capper, eyes on the ball, and that was a strong mark.
Kevin Sheedy not too happy at all.
I love watching Capper. He's so flamboyant. He tried to con the umpire, and it was almost a knockout blow. Well, here's Brett Scott. Let's see where Capper is. He should mark this. He ducks back. Whitten was there. Hurd backs up beautifully. Oh, danger, though. Terry Danaher under pressure, heads for the line.
Barry, I reckon Scott's performance in the centre has been magnificent.
We often say about the lack of depth in the Swans side, but certainly over the past 3 or 4 weeks, you can't put that at them because they have covered all positions extremely well.
Mitchell takes the ball from Bayes, goes forward. That's a lovely goal of Barry Mitchell, his 3rd.
There's absolutely no stopping the Swans now. Everything they touch turns to goal, but they've earned that. They've worked hard right from the first bounce, and everything they attempt at the moment is just coming off superbly, as we saw Bayes just hook the ball back to Barry Mitchell and a great snap at goal. Fantastic football from the Swans.
Sorry, Barry, I think once again the question's got to be asked, can Sydney break their all-time record again, because they did it in the last match, and it's only 14 and a half minutes gone. They're on 28 goals, 17, and here they come again through Brett Scott. Tony Morwood. Oh, 2 Essendon players spoiled Lux a fortune, because Ezard was there to take it away from half-back. Beautiful pass. Finds Daryl Cunningham to Billy Duckworth. Oh, he nearly caught Billy. Off he goes on the left foot, a high flyer. Look at that for poor forward play. Have a look at that. Well, maybe it was a crook kick, but there was no one near the goals for 50 metres. Hand pass to Rocket Rod Carter. He'll head for the line. A very experienced player. Watch this go to the boundary line. No, he tried to. Merritt was there, grabs it, centres it. Oh, Henwood says thank you very much. This is easy as you like. as he gets it to half-back and Bernard too. He has got time to duck around. Hand pass to Paul Hawke. He'll probably give it to Browning. He does. Browning had an option of two. Mitchell to Bolton, who's got it. Oh, clever play to Brett Scott. Where's Kappa? Kappa ducks, weaves. Oh, dropped it at the last moment. Bad luck, Warwick Kappa. Beautiful hand pass to Stevie Wright by Kappa. And it's another one. This is magnificent football.
Barry, that was magnificent by Kappa then.
Fantastic, Bob. It's just what we've been talking about most of the season as we see on replay the ball coming. Kappa nearly took the... Oh, look, it was nearly a mark anyway, but just look at him go after this ball, gathers it in, and then spins around, knocks it out to Stevie Wright. That was just absolutely fantastic.
That is one of the best pieces of team football I've ever seen from a
Look
forward.
at this on replay. I mean, that nearly was a mark.
Great stuff by Kappa. In fact, I was all set to call it a mark. I really thought he had it, and it's only when he hit the ground. But look at the follow-up play to Wright. And I tell you what, down the other end of the ground, they've got nothing up forward, Essendon.
Tripp taps the ball on. An awkward bounce that time for Barry Mitchell. Taken by Keane, hooks it over the shoulder. Over the top it comes. Tapped on that time by Thompson. Picked up by Cunningham. Well smothered off the boot. Quirk forces the ball forward. In comes Henwood. Picked up by Hurd. Hurd runs straight into trouble. Loses it completely and is penalised. So we find the Swans through the agency of Paul Hawke to take the free kick.
I'm wondering how I picked Essendon, Bobby. I just can't believe why I picked them.
Well, we thought they were better. Our director just said you're not an expert.
I know. He did never pick. You and I and Barry picked Swans, didn't he? But he's a bit one-eyed.
Of course I did.
He lives up here as we see Cordy towards halfway. They can't take a mark, the Bombers. But I'll tell you what, this has been a magnificent performance. The best I've seen in years by the Swans, and they've put in some pretty good ones.
Johnston gives the hand pass to Clark. Smothered almost. Picked up by Hawker. That's a great attempt to stop Hawker. Hawker in towards the centre. It's all Essendon. They almost run into each other. And we find the ball coming out that time from Chris Danaher. Finishes up with Keane. Keane now swings the ball wide. It's all Swans though. And Quirk would have taken the mark. Free kick, whatever you like. Henwood takes it. Scott puts the ball over the top to Mitchell. Mitchell doesn't he likes out to Morwood. Moore will run into the open goal. Down it goes. Goal number 30 on the board.
They just can't do anything wrong, the Sydney Swans, but Essendon had all the opportunities in the world to do something constructive with the ball, but they messed around with it. They nearly knocked each other over trying to get to the ball. Eventually a poor kick to Paul Quirk and Peter Quirk, and then away it went and finished up with Morwood kicking the easiest of goals.
Well, prior to last week, the record was 30 goals, 19.
Well, what a sensational performance. This is Gerard Healy. He's got his ankle heavily taped on the outside of the boot. He's coming. Oh, here they come again, though, as Healy comes off. Here we see Paul Hawke up towards the half-forward line, punched away by Billy Duckworth. He'll try his heart out to the finish. Out to Elshaw. The little men, very, very disappointing. To Shane Hurd. I wonder Essendon came up yesterday to prepare for this game, and fair what I reckon they ought to come. Doesn't help them much when they come up early. They ought to come up the same day like Hawthorn do. There it is, centre wing. Ball forced wide, but it's got to come back. It's a free kick to Alan Ezard, halfway between centre wing and half forward flank. A magnificent performance this, a 20-goal lead at the moment, or more in fact. Up towards full forward it goes, and Rod Carter crooked on himself then for losing concentration. Simon Madden takes the mark.
Well, 19 and a half minutes are approaching in this quarter, and Essendon only kicked 1 point.
Well, that is, if that's not throwing in the towel, I don't know what is.
And the Swans have kicked 7 goals, 4. It was 2 points at quarter time, 48 points at half time, 86 points at three-quarter time.
Simon Madden, a beautiful looking drop punt, and that gains some face by putting it through for a goal. And Simon has battled hard. He's kicked 2, but they're getting a hiding, Barry.
Yes, it certainly is, Pete, and that really doesn't help the Essendon side much at all, but just a very belated first goal for the quarter for the Essendon side.
Well, back to the centre of the ground it will come. There's Rocket Rod Carter, a fantastic competitor, and well, what an outstanding performance by all the Swans players, and certainly started here in the middle. Michael Byrne battled hard. Spencer knocks it away over the back. Cordy How the Footscray let this guy go? Well, it's still got me beaten. He's hard. Handball wide, a big chance here for Daryl Cunningham, but he's attacked by 3 Swans players. That was fantastic. Play on, said the umpire. Let's watch Browning come down the ground. Centre wing, he'll go for the big bomb, looking for Kappa. Kappa flies, guy knocks it away. A chance now for the Swans. In the forward pocket it goes. It comes loose. Hamilton dives on the ball, made no attempt to get it out. Play on, said the umpires. It comes back to Stevie Wright. He's got it too. Oh, clever players. He hooks it back to Brett Scott. And this bloke is a big kick. He will have to kick from 50 metres. He's already kicked 2, Brett. And I'll tell you what, I will back him for the distance, Bob.
He's the lovely kicker of the football. He's had a bit of practice today. Look at those stats. 25 possessions.
Well, here's the kick from Brett Scott. It's a high floater, a magnificent booming kick. And it's a goal to the little centre man.
That's the Swans' highest score in league football. Last week was the highest score prior to this. Before last week it was 30 goals, 19. Then last week they surpassed that with over 30 goals. I think it was 30-21 from memory. And now it's 31-17, 203.
Bob's not very happy about that, Pete. Do you notice the smile on his face? Bob's not very happy about that record score.
203-72. Byrne kicks the ball off the ground. Danaher couldn't take it. It was tapped down to right, across to Holden. Good play by Bays.
That was a very, very clever kick that by Holden. You watch this. Oh, we didn't quite see that, but he saw Kappa out of the corner of his eye and he just kicked the ball off the side of his boot to hook it back to Kappa. And, well, I feel sorry for Whitten because under that sort of pressure with the ball being belted down, but I reckon there's been a pretty pathetic effort by Essendon this last quarter, Bob. They have not put in at all. And if I was Kevin Sheedy, I'd be disgusted. There's Kappa, goal number 6. Yes, it's a goal, and they are on fire. I don't know whether you agree with me, Barry, but Essendon have thrown in the towel.
I reckon they have been. It's very disappointing, but everything the Swan touches is turned into goal. Their teamwork today has been absolutely sensational, and we didn't see on the replay, but the little knockout of the centre of the ground was just superb.
Well, there's Warwick Kappa, 9 kicks for 6 goals, and that's a good effort by the full forward, but I think it wouldn't matter who you played there at full forward today. I think he'd be bound to kick 6 goals because this performance has been sensational by the Swans players up the ground. Michael Byrne, have a look at that nose. He's copped a couple of very heavy whacks off the ground. Tui has been a tremendous player, a real go. Oh, have a look at that. Sheer desperation then. Bays in front, over the back of Danaher. Oh, it's taken by Holden, sets it up for Kappa. Kappa in front, over the back, Mitchell. Barry Mitchell picks it up, but he's offline. And through it goes for one behind, but this is champagne football.
Certainly is, Pete, and the Sydney crowd loving every second of it.
So's our co-commentator here, Bobby Skilton, with a big grin on the face.
I'm unbiased, you know that. I'm a commentator. Tripp takes another lovely mark. Been an excellent player today. Thought about giving it short to Stevie Wright. Now elects to go for the long kick. Puts it high. And a good mark taken in the last line of defence by Hamilton. He's tried his heart out, Paul Hamilton. Oh, bad mistake. It comes back to Hamilton, though. Good recovery by Hamilton. The short one by Elshaw. Across to Terry Danaher. Time for Terry Danaher to steady and drive it long up towards centre wing, but Henwood at the back, just doing as he likes.
He's made an enormous difference, Barry, to this Swan side, hasn't he?
He's a most improved footballer, Pete, and everybody in Perth last week couldn't believe how much this guy's improved, and he certainly has done a lot to strengthen up that Swans half-back line.
A lovely kick from Henwood towards centre half forward. Bays from behind, second grab, couldn't quite take it. Scott's there, taps the ball out now to Wright. Nice piece of shepherding, allows Wright to run into the open goal. It's another to Stevie Wright.
Their just doing absolutely as they like there. And we see Stevie Wright, he just ran around into that open goal as if there wasn't an Essendon defender on the football ground. As we watch on replay, it's knocked out. And watch how long he has to get around these Essendon opponents. Not a defender within cooey of him.
Watching the replay, it might have nearly been a throw, you know.
Yeah, I thought it was. And there's Tommy. Tommy still looks serious. Well, this has been another 10-goal quarter, this by the Swans. That's the last two quarters have resulted in 20 goals. Look at that. There was a passage there, said, please come through. And through he came too, but they're playing on enormous confidence, the Swans. Stevie Wright, that was brilliant. That was fantastic play, Wright. The use of the ball, both by hand and by foot, has been sensational. And Essendon's performance has been pathetic. I think you've got to look at it both ways. I don't think the Swans have had much opposition today. 13 kicks and 2 handballs. And is that another one? No, he's offline.
Back to the back line.
Well, I'll tell you what, those Essendon players have been up and down the ground, and they're only a shadow of the side that won those back-to-back premierships a couple of years ago. MADDEN down to the ground. A bit of fancy work. The Bolton was from Byrne, and Tony Morwood, the will-o'-the-wisp. Tony Morwood, plenty of time to duck around. Oh, bad kick. It was smothered off the boot to Elshaw. Elshaw going for the long kick. There's Henwood. Could have been interfered with there. The umpire said no. Oh, well played, Neil Cordy. Good play. Izzard caught. Hand pass wide. Merritt has had a quiet day. Chips it to Hurd. Couldn't get there. Let's see what Rocket to Carter does here. He'll put the pressure on. Now, that was out in the full. Yes, and the boundary umpire was right. It came off Carter's boot.
It's bad luck, but nonetheless it was right.
Over to Keane. Now, that's a mark. That's 15 metres, that.
No way.
Said the umpire. Well, maybe you're right. He pushed him over, but Ian Robinson said nothing serious. Gavin Marbles Keane, that's his nickname. Marbles, 17 kicks and 9 handballs, so he's had plenty of possessions. There's the kick from Gavin Keane, and it floats. 1 point. What's that look say, Barry?
I'm disgusted.
Is there any up there? Anyone? Yes, it could mean anyone up there to help him. He was looking towards the heavens. Well, it's been a sensational performance. What a good kick by Carter to Quirk. Keane chips in. Has battled hard, Gavin Keane, but oh, here comes Paul Hawke. The running players have been fantastic. Hand pass to Scott. This will be a goal, no doubt. As Scott off balance though, offline, and misses. 1 point. And the Sydney Swans fans, they want more.
You can't blame them for that.
Well, you could. I think they've had enough, Bob.
Trevor Spencer comes straight up the ground. Terry Danaher takes the mark. And Danaher, a bit of pressure. Browning comes across to take the mark. And he's another player who's made the most of an opportunity today.
Ever.
2 goals from the half-back flank and have been a very solid player. The long kick from Browning. Right comes across in front of Madden. Now, well, what more can they do? Simon Madden, I think, thought he had that one as we see Wright come across and take a lovely mark.
But how about the commitment of these guys? I mean, it just is just great to watch.
Stevie Wright puts it through the centre for his 4th goal. 8 goals last week, 4 goals this week. Not a bad return, Barry.
Fantastic return, Bob. And again on replay, Simon Madden never was really going to take that mark, or really didn't want the ball hard enough for mine, and Stevie Wright just wanted it and went straight past him.
I'd like to know what the league record is. The highest score ever. Bob, have you got any idea? Well, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but the highest score ever would be very, very interesting. They'd have to be horribly close, I think. Well, here they come again. They're going to give it a shake, whatever it is, as we see Kappa flying. He couldn't take it. Whitten was there, still battling away. Brian Whitten kicks it wide as Bobby Skilton heads for the record books. If we've got time, we'll find it.
36-22 by Fitzroy.
Well, 36-22. Oh, gee, they're only 2 goals, 2 off it. They might run out of... against Melbourne. Fitzroy hold the record. They're 14 points behind that, the Sydney Swans. I don't think they'll make it because we're almost at the 30-minute mark of the final quarter.
Mark Browning looks wide. Stevie Wright, nobody within 55 metres. Hand passes across to Hawke. Hawke steadies back to Stevie Wright. A long kick from Wright. Dropping short. Winton got an awkward bounce. Did well to tap the ball forward, but is that the right again? Goes towards goal. Stevie Wright brings up his fifth, and it's 35-20.
Really, what a great goal from Stevie Wright. He was so tired after his first kick there, but he kept going and collected the ball again. A great Rovers job, as we see on replay again. Hawke out to Stevie Wright, runs through the lines. Not a great kick from Stevie Wright, the first one, but just a great lesson to would-be Rovers to keep running at the ball. And look at that collected goal.
Oh, this is the highest score since 1979 in VFL football, and I'm delighted too, Bob, because I've been able to hear that Sydney Swans song 35 times today. It's made my day as we see centre of the ground. They're still trying to get it. What are they now? 8 points off the all-time record score, and we're at the 31-minute mark. I doubt whether they can do it. They must be very close to the siren. Look at that. A 45-metre punch away by Henwood. They might get another goal here. Now, is that in the back? No, said the umpire. Hand pass coming wide. Fantastic performance. The Swans have not let up any stage. Keane ducks back into the fray. Kicks it to half-back. Chris Danaher's been a very quiet player. So is Tony Elshaw. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it to MORWOOD. And the umpire said, holding the ball. I wonder what Tony MORWOOD was doing. Then he thought he could have got in the hand pass. Short pass to HAWKE. He's caught with the ball. Oh, they might get that record yet. Steve Wright. Tony MORWOOD. Can he kick it? No one coming at him. From 50 metres out, he stabs a goal. It floats. It's another one. 2 points to go to the all-time league record.
Really, that goal just epitomises the day that Essendon have had. Tony Elshaw running through the centre of the ground, took a bounce to the ball, bounced back behind him. 3 Swans players swooped on it, and Tony MORWOOD had a week in which to kick that goal.
Tony MORWOOD, 2 goals to his credit, has been an excellent player today. So have all of the Swans. Can they get another goal? They need 2 points. I think they've got time for 3 scores, so it'll be a case of a goal as Scott kicks the ball off the ground. Wright coming across, Thrips there. Johnson loses it, it's taken by Thrips. Thrips snaps up high. Capper's down there. Should be left for Capper. He can't take the mark. It's tapped over the boundary line. And so a throw-in to take place. Throw-in in the forward pocket. 33 minutes have gone. Must be very close, but let's not forget the Swans have kicked 13 goals in this quarter as Madden thumps the ball wide. So there'll be a bit. Siren sounds. They don't quite get the record, but what a fantastic performance by the Swans. 36-20, 236 points to Essendon, 11-7, 73. And I understand that the Swans are the first team to ever score over 200 points in consecutive games.